Why don't schools teach you about real life? Schools don't teach you anything useful, so there could be more jobs. If they taught you how to do everything, there wouldn't be as many jobs out here. The whole thing about society is to make you into a worker. If schools taught everybody how to be an entrepreneur and taught them all the skills in life, there wouldn't be any workers. Society is built on workers and labor. If they taught everybody how to start their own business or be an entrepreneur, society would collapse. There wouldn't be any workers. The only thing that school does for you is to teach you the basics, how to read and write, how to do math. And then they teach you a little bit about history and a little bit about science and kind of make you a well-rounded person in terms of the basics. But they can't teach you any real-world skills. They only give you basic tools, and then you have to develop your own skills and you have to develop your own character. But the way schools are designed is to make you work for a company, is to keep you in the rat race. And then the few that break out of it, the few extraordinary ones that end up being an entrepreneur, start their own company, those are the extraordinary people. And what you got to understand is you only need one person to start their own company and it'll create thousands of jobs. You'll have thousands of workers, and that's how society is ran. If everybody was an entrepreneur and everybody opened up their own company, there wouldn't be any employees. These companies and corporations, they wouldn't survive without the labor of workers. So the whole school system is meant to build you into a follower. It's not meant to make you a leader. And the reason why society works, the reason why things are so advanced now, and why society got so far in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology, and just having structure, and the reason why we even have these cities, and we're not living like we did in the past as tribes or in the forest, is because the majority of us work. We're the ones that build things. We're the ones that do all the hard work, the physical labor, use our brains. The leader just comes up with ideas and builds the foundation of the company. Once the foundation is built, once they put their money to work, now it survives on the labor of the employees. And that's just how society is ran. That's how the school system teaches you. Schools will never teach you how to be a leader, because to be in control, you need followers. The poor needs the money of the rich, and the rich needs the labor of the poor. And that's how society is ran. Because if one did not need the other, companies wouldn't function. You pay people to do the work for you because they need the money to survive. They need the money to pay their bills, to feed their family. You need money to do things. But the rich can't survive on money alone. They need the labor of the poor, and it's a cycle. Schools will only teach you basic skills. And then when you know how to read and you know how to do math, then you could decide what you want to do with your life. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Now you learn something that you specialize in. But that's all it will be. You're only meant to be good at one thing. You're only meant to be an expert at one thing. And then that is your career. That is your job. And when you don't know something, you have to hire someone. And that's how jobs are created. And that's how the economy is built. It's to keep money flowing. When you don't know something, you gotta hire somebody. And when you hire somebody and you pay them, you're flowing money back into the economy because the employees get paid or the company get paid. They pay their employees and the cycle continues. The flow of money is what keeps us going as a society. They can't teach you how to fix your own car, so you can hire a mechanic. If they teach you how to fix your own car, you wouldn't need to hire a mechanic. You fix it yourself. There wouldn't be that many jobs. There will be a select few of people who would know how to fix a car but still hire a mechanic anyway because they don't want to do the work themselves, or they can't do the work themselves. But then jobs wouldn't be plentiful. There wouldn't be that many jobs out there. There will only be a few. So that's why the school system, they can't teach you everything. That's why you go to school to be an expert in one thing. So when somebody else don't know how to do what you specialize in, they come to you and they pay you. Or they come to the company, they pay the company, and you do the work. And then the company pays you. That way, everybody has jobs. If everybody were to start their own company, or everybody knew how to do their taxes or buy their own house, there would be less jobs. You wouldn't need to hire an accountant. You wouldn't need to hire a realtor. If your toilet gets clogged or your sink gets clogged, you wouldn't need to hire a plumber. But because you don't know how to do these things, because school doesn't teach you these real life skills, you have to now go out and spend your money. And that helps the economy. And that's just how the economy is ran. And also, school isn't meant to make you smart. School is meant to push you to go to college. School isn't meant to push you to open up your own business or to be an entrepreneur. That's why teachers and just the school system itself tells you, oh, when you grow up, you have to go to college, you have to study hard, and that's how you're gonna have a good future. It's to make you into an employee so you can work for these corporations and be in a rat race and climb that corporate ladder. And society is meant to control you. You are meant to be controlled, because if they couldn't control you, there wouldn't be any structure. And that's why there's a lot of bias in the news. Sometimes you don't really know what's true and what's false. A lot of times we don't have a brain of our own. We just listen and regurgitate things. We don't really think about, is this really true? Why do I believe what I believe in? Do I actually believe in it, or is it because somebody told me, or I was raised this way and this was instilled in me? Does this actually make sense? Because when we believe in different things, when we have a mind of our own, that's when people rebel. Because when everyone's not on the same side, when you're on different sides, that's when fights happen. That's when wars happen. So the whole point of the school system is to keep everybody thinking the same. It's to keep everybody to think that we need to go to school, that we need to go to college, that we need to get a good job to keep us in this system. Because the government needs our labor. The corporations needs our labor to survive. And they want us to all be on the same side. They don't want us to have a mind of our own and to break free. Because when we disagree, that does not benefit the government. That does not benefit society as a whole. And this is why schools don't teach you useful things in real life. You gotta think about it. Why is it that in school we learn the same things for 12 years? We working on the same type of math. We working on the same type of reading. And why do they want to teach us a little bit of science, a little bit of other things, and not actually teach us more real life things, more real life examples? Think about it. We have computers now. If the school system really cared about our well-being and really wanted us to be successful in the real world, why don't they just make simulations of real world examples in life so we can go through the steps in the simulation? Because they don't want you to be an expert at everything. They want to keep you as ignorant as possible. Because if you were to practice real skills in these simulations, you would be an expert. You would know how to do everything. But the less you know, the more jobs. Because you don't know something, you gotta hire somebody with the expertise. Think about it. Everything in life requires you to go to somebody and hire them. Everything. There's a company, there's a business for everything. And the reason why we have these companies and we have these businesses and the reason why they're so successful is because we don't know anything. So we have to hire them. And that's how they make money. We now have to work for more money. So you're just stuck in the system. You stuck in a corporate ladder. You stuck having to use your labor to make more money. Every time you go out there and you spend $1, it's because somebody took that dollar from you. They offered a service or a product that fits your needs, and money doesn't last forever. So now you have to work for these same corporations to make the money back to now spend more money. And the flow of money continues, that cycle of money. And that's how society is ran. And that's how the government gets their money, because they collect taxes. The more people that work, the more people that spend money, the more taxes they collect. And honestly, this was a topic that was on my mind for a while. I really had to think about it. I really thought about, why don't schools teach us how to do real life things? There's so many things I don't know in real life, and I'm like, why don't schools teach us this? Why do schools waste so much time, waste so many years, teach us about science, But then we don't really know a lot about science because they don't teach us that deep. They kind of only teach us the basics, like igneous rocks. They teach us about rocks. They'll spend years teaching us about the same history over and over again. Multiple years teaching us about igneous rocks. Like, why can't they focus on other things? And then it all made sense to me. It's to create more jobs in society. It's to make sure we don't know anything. So whatever we do, we have to hire people. We have to spend money. And then when we spend money, we have to make money because we need money to survive. And the government gets money every time we spend money. And every time corporations make money, they collect taxes. And that's how society is surviving. And that's how society is evolving. Because we want to work harder and become more successful. And that's how we advance as a society. We want to come up with new innovations. Why? All because of money. We need money to survive. And we want to be successful. And every time there's a breakthrough in technology, every time there's a breakthrough or a new invention, someone makes money. Someone makes a product. Society needs it, we need to buy it because we need that product. It's all supply and demand. When an entrepreneur thinks, they think about what product or service can I come up with that people need? That's demand. And because there's a demand, they now supply that product or service. And that's how they make money. But then for all that to work, they need workers. They need labor. So now they hire people. And these employees make the money. Once they make money, they now need to go out and spend the money on things that they need. And the cycle continues. But the corporations make the most money because they're the ones that offer the product or the service, while you as an employee does all the work. And now these corporations have the money, and the people that own it, they're the rich people. And the poor needs the money of the rich. But the rich can't make money. But the rich can't survive without the labor of the poor. They need you to do all the grunt work while they sit back and collect the money. And all the money gets taxed. And that's how the government makes money. Because if you think about it, everybody has a role in society. We all do something. You either work retail, you work fast food, you work corporate in an office, you fix roads, you build buildings, but you're all getting paid by someone. And those are the rich people. Those are the people that control everybody because you work for them and they pay you. Money is the only thing that buys your loyalty, that buys your labor. Without the money, nobody will want to do anything. Nobody will want to work. Society will start to break down. Nobody will want to fix the roads. Nobody will want to build the nice cars. Nobody will want to build toilets. Nobody will want to do anything. Nobody will want to work fast food. Nobody will want to work in the service industry. So everything that you're taught is meant to make you work. It's meant to make you a follower. Because you only need a few leaders. But you need the majority of people to be followers that follow these leaders, that do all the hard work, that do all the physical labor, or use your brain for the benefit of the company. And that's why schools don't teach you anything useful in life. But in the end, it's not really useless when you think about it. Because you need to know how to read and write to function in society. You need to know how to do math to function in society. Simple things like math is very useful because most of the time when people struggle financially or they don't know how to budget, it's because they're not very good at math. They're not proficient. So when they go out and they shop and they spend $100, they don't even realize they spent $100 until they look at that receipt. They don't even know they spent $100 until later. But someone who's proficient at math will be like, oh, I spent $100, let me stop. Or they'll go, oh, I spent $100. If I buy that for $50, that's $150. My budget's only $100. But for someone who's not very proficient, they spend $5 here, $10 here, $15 here, and they might have spent $200, but they don't even know because it's $5 here, $10 here. They think it's nothing until later on they realize, oh, I don't have enough money to pay my bills because I overspent. That's because you're not proficient at math. So school is important. It does teach you a lot of basic things, but you need to take the time to learn these basic things and know how to utilize it They'll give you basic tools, but you gotta know how to use these basic tools to survive in society. Now I'm getting a little off topic. I think that's a topic for another video.